Hey folks, Farley again. Got myself another project. My friend David B down the street, his wife Gladys works at the local motel doing cleaning rooms, and she's got herself one of these backpack vacuum cleaners. It's a Rubbermaid BP6Q, and David B thought that maybe he could fix it when it stopped working, and he took the darn thing apart and couldn't figure out how to put it back together. So he came down the street, came up my driveway and said, "Farley, I need some help. Can you put this back together so my wife doesn't leave me?" And I said, "Of course, David B, I'm going to help you out." So what we're going to do today is we're going to put this backpack vacuum back together again. The Rubbermaid BP6Q has a 1/4 horsepower electric motor that drives an internal fan impeller. And that impeller creates the suction that removes the debris and brings it up into the canister. So I did my friend a favor here, and before I agreed to do this job, I said, well, let me make sure the motor works. And I did apply electricity to it, and it works fine, and the impeller is clean and clear, ready to be installed. As you can see here, David B just gave me a pile of washers and nuts and bolts, and really kind of not very helpful, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to figure out where each one of these nuts and bolts goes, and we're going to put this back together and make sure it runs like it's brand new. Now, like most of these units, the fan is installed from below, so I've turned the canister upside down here, and I'm going to go ahead and reinsert the motor and the impeller into the bottom of the canister unit. Now clearly we got the two electrical leads right here, and then over here is where the electricity and the switching mechanism connect, and you'll see there's a series of connectors right there that we're going to use to lock down those wires in place and make sure they don't move around. So as you can see here, I fed the first set of wires through one of the holes there, and lucky enough it's easy to tell which wire goes to which location because of the crimp marks. But this set of wires here, we got a green ground here that connects to the top of the motor. You can see that goes right here, and then we got these other two leads that are obviously how the power and the switching is accomplished. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten up that nut there that I got it in the right position and keep moving along. I've gone ahead and brought through the second set of leads here, and this particular lead, they go to the switch, and this is what the operator uses to turn on and off the vacuum cleaner. Now these are the wire block clips that I put back into place here. I haven't screwed them down yet, but I want to show you here. I just want to have a little bit of the insulation going out past the clip and have these things nice and tight so they don't move around. Next order of business here, I've got to install these vibration grommets, I'll call them. I'm not sure exactly what they would be called, but they're obviously meant to lessen the vibration from the motor to the operator. A little different than your typical vacuum cleaner that you're only touching with your hand. This is actually attached to your back, so when the motor's turning, you might feel it vibrate a little bit, and after a long day of cleaning motel rooms, you might feel a little strange. Now, position one of those vibration devices into its final place there, but there is a screw hole here on the outside where you're going to put a screw through, and you're going to connect to that grommet on the other side. I've got all these vibration grommets installed, and now it's time to put the cap on the outside here. So come around the side here, and you'll see we got this metal plate coming through here, and there's a nice plastic cap that goes over the top. Another important part that you never want to miss is the ground here, and that green wire, that's the ground that goes out to the main electrical supply here, and it grounds out to the motor assembly. The next part of this reassembly is putting this end cap, and now it's got a decorative cover on the bottom end, but I've got to get this down on here, and I got to pull the wires through and reattach them. Now it's time to make the electrical connections. On the right hand side here, I've got these two black wires, and they are the actual motor that turns the impeller. And these two leads here go to the switch, and then these are the power legs. So I'm going to put these together in the right combination and put some connectors on the end, and then we're going to go ahead and put the bottom cap on the unit. Now I put these connectors on here, and you always want to do a pull test. You want to make sure that those wires, they're together and that connector is not coming off. And you can see here, these are perfect. Now I place the cover back down over the electrical connections, and I've got 4 screws I need to put in to complete this cover. There you can see all 4 screws are installed, and time to put this exhaust pad on the end of the unit to complete it. And we're getting really close here. We're down to the last few pieces here. We got to put the backpack back onto the unit. There are 3 bolts, and I'm going to set this piece right on top of there, and you can see that they line up with the hole in the back of the canister. And I've got all 3 bolts back in there, and they're torqued up nice and ready to go. Well, it's time for the official test to see if Davy B's sleeping in the doghouse or he's going to be sleeping in a nice warm bed tonight. So I got it plugged in, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the switch on. And looky there, there she goes. Let's see what kind of suction we have here. Oh, look at that, look at that. Yep, she sucks good. Well, Davy B, looks like you got your wife back and your vacuum working. And everybody, thanks for watching.